Do you want to prepare your slides to present in a conference or a seminar with an excellent talk? Do you want to know how to improve your presentation skills toward a useful talk? Stay tuned. My name is Hana Hakami. I am a PhD holder in cell biology. I am here to help you with tips and advices to improve and support your research experience during graduate and postgraduate studies with a whole series full of related topics. In this episode today, we are going to slightly dissect the topic on how to prepare yourself for a talk in a seminar, a conference, or a symposium. I will talk here about the near future preparations for a given talk. Either you have applied for it and got an approval, or you have been invited as a speaker. We are not going to discuss today about how to prepare yourself to apply for a talk, which is more about planning for presenting collected data in a certain research society and finding a suitable conference to apply, plus the how to apply for this type of conferences. So now you have an idea about the date, the time, and the duration for the given slot to you to present a talk. From here exactly, you can start to prepare yourself. Tip 1. When you receive the confirmation on the talk approval or invitation, make sure you completed the required steps to be formally registered for the talk, including the correct title of the talk, if this is not done yet, the keywords or the introduction that will be sent out to the audiences, and the etc. information that needed to be sent to the conference or the talk organizer and chair. Tip 2. Definitely add the talk date, time, location, and duration to your calendar with alerts to remind you about the talk ahead of time if your calendar is full of events and your agenda is usually fully busy. Also, post the needed note in front of you for these details in your workstation where you are going to put your slides together. Tip 3. It is the best to have most, if not all, of your slides ready as soon as you know the date and the time of your talk. Here, I would like to recommend you to create a new presentation file for each talk. I would never recommend you to reuse the exact same slides every time you give a talk. Following this way, it will leave you always behind in the past of the first time you presented a good talk for the same subject. And even it will embarrass you due to forgetting to correct or upgrade some slides that you used from a previous talk without updating your presentation file to fit the new talk audience and the conference theme. I have seen presenters give talks with the first slides containing a different title from the advertised talk title, or even with a wrong date from the past, which is most likely from a previous talk. Also, I have seen talks with unexpected slides that even the presenters did not expect it or remember there being existed in their presentation. It is clearly that they are not well prepared or someone else have prepared the slides for them. Therefore, please have a new version for each talk and rebuild your slides to fit the new talk for the same topic with updated information and styles. Tip 4. The sooner you have your slide draft complete, give it to your supervisor, mentor, or a lab senior whom can go through it and recommend you for some improvements and suggest some ideas that will upgrade your slides to a better level. You don't need to take all the suggestions and recommendations to an act if you are not convinced with them. But usually it's worth to make the points mentioned to you about your slides in a consideration. If you feel your level of knowledge and background in your research field is strong enough to stand by your own for your prepared slides, it is still a good idea to discuss it with a colleague or discuss it with your boss if you are not the boss. Tip 5. Now you have the slide draft with points to improve and recommendations to level your talk up. So start to finalize your slides and make sure they contain the following: a welcome slide that include your talk title, your name, affiliation, the date of the presentation, and the conference name. It will look attractive if it has a featured image for the talk. In particular, if the image came from your own work and from the collected data. Have the stamp of the slide numbers on each slide. That will help so much at the question session. Have 1 to 2 slides of hooking introduction to your research results. Your talk should start with a brief description of the literature toward the goals of your research. Sometimes you are an invited speaker for more than 20 minutes talk. So if you feel expanding the introduction for more than 2 slides, if you have a long talk, that would serve and enrich the talk, leading to a better understanding of the results, it should be fine. However, I really recommend to give most of the talk time to present your data and to be employed to the results section. Then make sure in your slides an easy to follow sequence. That should include the aim or objective of each result, the selected method to obtain and collect the data, as well as analyze them into a well-stated results and conclusions. Do not forget to acknowledge people, groups, and organizations who have helped you and worked with you to obtain your data in the given talk. Tip 6. When you are giving the final touches of your presentation slides to be completely ready, check the following. The number of slides accommodate the given time for your talk. Usually, one slide takes in an average 30 to 60 seconds to present. The slides should not be too crowded nor empty and looking poor. Also, the slides are not too wordy. They should be dynamic and engaging. The fonts on each slide are readable. It is essential to run a grammar check for each written sentence and word on your slides. The colors of the slides, including the font, the image, the graphs, and the backgrounds, are comfortable for the audience eyes. Finally, check the sequence of the slides if it is highly coherent. Tip 7. You finished up preparing the slides. Now, it is the time to rehearse and practice the talk. Never rely on your skills in improvisation, especially if you are going to give a scientific research talk. I stress on starting rehearsing the talk the latest 3 days in advance of the actual talk day. In particular, when you are going to give the talk in a language that is not your mother tongue, when you are still a young researcher or a student, when you are not used to give talks and present frequently your data in lab meetings and other similar events occasionally, when you are a shy person and have a quiet personality, when you are not comfortable with giving talks in public. Okay, now, what is the way to rehearse? The way how to rehearse starts with writing down every single word on each slide that you are going to say, starting from the welcome slide all the way to the thank you slide at the end, and offering the audience the chance to ask questions. Then you will read and time what you have wrote as a script for the talk. to make sure you have enough room of time to present all your slides and even giving a fair time for the question session at the end of your talk. If you find an extra room to add more slides, then go for it, but never exceed the limit of the time given for your talk. This is not good. I have been through that multiple times, and every time I exceeded the time, I end up in an embarrassing situation. I'm telling you, it's not a good feeling. This is not a good impression about you. If there is no room to add extra slides, which is usually happen, then try to make your talk very concise and directly to the point of each slide conclusion. You can shorten, merge, or combine multiple slides or delete some of the least important slides if the time of the talk is very limited. Just focus on the major finding when you present. Also, there is always more to tell. There is always more to say. And there are always details that there is no enough time to explain all of them, which can be smartly indicated or left for the audience question session. Finally, repeat practicing your talk to that point when you are spontaneously giving it without looking at any script or little notes. If you reach to this point of rehearsal, congratulations, you are ready for the talk. Tip 8. I really like to have extra slides that I don't present them, but I keep them at the end after the thank you slide for expected asked questions to answer them. Also, to keep the detailed slides on the results or non-shown result slides during the talk hidden at the end to show at the question session when it comes up. Tip 9. On the day before the talk and the talk day, work out on 3 things. Rehearse more 1 to 3 times a day your talk, sleep well, and nourish your body with good food. Tip 10. When you are giving the talk, smile, be energetic, and make the audience engaged during the talk with your vocal tone and your body language. Do not rush to answer questions. Listen well to each question. Make sure that you understand the question very well and answer accordingly. Please don't answer questions you don't know their answer with nonsense. And if you are speculating based on what you think it is, make sure the audience understand that it is not the literature, it's not from any data, that just you think it could be this way, that you are speculating and there is no solid evidence on that. Also, don't go around the bush by giving too long misleading answers. Importantly, never act to any asked question as a stupid, silly, or the least important question that can be asked upon your important talk. Here we came to the end of this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it and learned something new and useful from it. Please, if you like the contents of this video, give it a thumb up, share it with friends and family, and subscribe to my channel. It will help me and it will be greatly appreciated. Please take care. Thank you for your watching and see you soon.